Hello, and welcome. Today I'm going to go through the top 10 best, or at least the most used legendary weapons in D2 from the release to now. Some of the weapons I mentioned might not be good anymore, but they were probably added because of their past impact on the game. There are dozens of legendary weapons that have made a huge impact on the game. If your favorite legendary weapon was included, tell me which one and why it should have been in this list in the comments below. This is also a personal opinion, so don't get too triggered. And with that out of the way, let's start. At number 10, we have the bad but infamous Edge Transit. What is there to say about this gun? It was everywhere. Filling up your heavy slot, filling up your postmaster, filling up your feed on YouTube because everyone was posting about them getting it. This thing was so bad, even non-Destiny players have seen the memes about the dang gun. In reality, it wasn't that trash of a weapon, being able to roll with spike grenades and auto-loading holster, but even if it was good, or at least okay, nothing could stop the average player from instantly dismantling it once they got it. This thing was so prevalent, I once ran a full Last Wish, and by the end of it, had 3 Edge Transits. 3. That's how bad it was. This gun is so implanted into our minds, I had to give it a place on this list. At number 9, we have the Loomis House and the Not Forgotten as the only fully PvP weapons on this list. Why did I add these two guns to number 9 spot? Well, when they were released, they, since hand cannons were meta, were almost all that was being ran in Crucible. If you had one, you used it, plain and simple. Another reason is because of the nerf that happened to it. This nerf got so many people mad it left shockwaves through the community. Third reason? Well, the last one is personal. It took me a long time to get this gun because I was stuck on the get to fabled phase. Every time I posted to try to get it, I would get people who purposely throw, then toxic track, and whatnot. The day I got this gun, I will never forget. The thing is, I needed to get fabled not to just to get this gun, but the Recluse and Mountaintop as well. So in one visit to Shaxx, I got all 3 weapons. At number 8, this might confuse a lot of people. It's the Curtain Call. You haven't heard of this weapon? When did you start playing? If the answer is when Warmind came out or after, then that's why. Before Warmind came out, this was the only heaven weapon used for damage. It's just a rocket launcher with cluster bombs, but it was the rocket launcher with cluster bombs. Maybe it's because it looks kinda thick, but I'm not really sure. Whatever the reason was, this gun was great, and that's why it's here. At number 7, we have the Swarm of the Raven. I'll touch on this more in the next entry, but after the cluster bomb was nerfed, we went right back to the launchers and found spike grenades, and more specifically, Swarm of the Raven. Though other spike grenade launchers could be used and were used, this was the best one, and it made people scramble to get it when Iron Banner was still active. I got mine on my last rank up package to Lord Saladin, so I was lucky, but many others weren't. At number 6, we have the Sins of the Past, and more generally, every rocket launcher with cluster bombs used to kill Riven. For me, I use Sins of the Past for DPS, but others use Curtain Call, Huscow, and Sleepless. They all do pretty much the same thing, but they were all used in Riven. I mean, what else do I have to say? I'm sure you used a cluster bomb strat, and it was so good they had to rework Well of Radiance and Rally Barricade, and it brought about all modern DPS strats we know and love today. At number 5, we have a gun that a lot of you probably think should be number 1. We got the Recluse. This gun is used in almost everyone's loadout who has it. It has a high damage, a low recoil, and a fast reload speed when Feeding Frenzy is active. It's also to be used quite well in Crucible. Why isn't it higher? Well, this video suggests other weapons are used more. Neither this one is the most used guns right now. It didn't have the same effect as our next 4 entries. First of those 4 is none other than the Falling Guillotine, the Meta Breaker. What is this weapon not good for? Other than range, this weapon does it all. Proc Whirlwind Blade, hit R2 and watch anything and everything fall to their knees as the cold hard blade void swipes corpses of their souls. This weapon is, for lack of a better word, epic. It's a massive sword and it looks insane, even for Destiny standards. Its DPS can reach over 60,000, and though it wasn't used exclusively at Sins or Curtain Call, it is used so much in its current state it had to be nerfed. I think it's the only legendary weapons other than Recluse to have an exclusive nerf to a specific weapon. Number 3, I'm sure you've used it. It's the Callow shotgun. Year 1 to shortly after Forsaken, this gun was used in every single loadout. And when I mean every raid, every strike, every mission, everything. Even after its nerf, it was still used until threat level took its place. It took over Destiny, and it still holds a special place in my heart for one of my favorite legendary weapons ever. Number 2, I want this gun so badly to be number 1, but I can't. Even if this gun had more dominance than the gun in number 1. Almost exclusively used in year 1, the Midnight Coup. My recruits, which have had my inventory nearly twice the amount of time as Midnight, has half as many kills. Nothing replaced this gun. Energy weapons didn't even exist. They didn't even matter because this gun was so prevalent. Its glory, its finesse, its presence is unmatched by the weapons of today, and I was sad to see it go. Before we get to number 1, I want to mention some honorable mentions. I could have honorable mentions of honorable mentions because there's so many influential legendaries, but here they are in no particular order. Gnawing Hunger, Summoner, Spare Rations, Hammerhead, Oriental FR4, Fellwinter's Lie, Wendigo, Revoker, Nameless Midnight, Bygones, Blast Furnace, Threat Level, Last Man Standing or any 1-2 punch shoddy, Temptation Hook, and Uriel's Gift. Now, on to number 1. You know what it is before I even say it. It's the pinnacle, it's the peak, it's the mountain top. Since it came out to now, all the way to Beyond Light, this gun will be and has been meta. To Crucible, to Raids, to Ad Clear, DPS, to anything your heart can imagine, this was a gun for it. Plain and simple. Why? Nearly 35k on hit, massive blast radius, quick reload, no drop off, impact, lightweight frame, max velocity, all you want from a weapon. I bet there isn't a single person who plays Destiny that hasn't at least heard of this weapon. It looks and feels amazing, and its prevalence in loadouts is unmatched. It is the most influential legendary weapon in all of Destiny 2. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like or sharing this video to others. If you disagree with everything I said and you think the Duke is the best weapon in the game, tell me why in the comments below. Consider checking out my tier list of exotics, which is much the same as this video, just with exotics. With out of the way, I'll see you in the next one.